Straight ahead on CCX News.
The great thing about retail this year is consumers have really started spending again.
Retail is on the rebound. Plus, run your way to a New Year's resolution in Maple Grove with a 5K that's celebrating 10 years. And
we always kind of need a lot of blood, but especially right in the holiday season.
A request for you to give before the new year. CCX News starts right now. Hello everyone, thanks for joining us. The American Red Cross is putting out an urgent request for blood donations. Reporter Sonia Goen shows us why it's hard for the organization to keep up with demand this time of year.
Every 2 seconds, someone in the United States needs blood. A single car accident victim can require as much as 100 pints of blood, while blood platelets are critical for cancer patients, especially when they're going through chemo.
My father actually was sick with cancer a couple of years ago and actually himself needed another number of blood transfusions.
Melena Bellin stopped by a blood drive in Osseo to help replenish the life-saving substance.
So it's sort of my way of giving back, for the blood that he took out of the supply.
On average, the American Red Cross likes to have about 700 units of blood on hand per day here in Minnesota. But it's kind of hard to keep up with that number during the holidays when donations tend to dip.
We always kind of need a lot of blood, but especially right in the holiday season, people who normally give blood are maybe on vacation or sick and can't make it in.
Now, weather is also a factor with donations being down this time of year. If it's snowing or icy like it is today, the Red Cross might have to cancel blood drives because it's not safe for folks to come out. The American Red Cross supplies 70% of hospitals here in the Twin Cities metro area, so it's crucial for them to have enough blood donations on deck.
We need all blood types, as patients of all blood types do come in with that need, but especially O negative and O positive.
They say one blood donation could potentially save 3 lives, and it's a relatively simple process to go through.
It'll be a pinch, but we do everything we can to make you more comfortable and get you through it.
Sonia Goins, CCX News.
Recent hurricanes and a fire out west have also impacted the blood supply. There are several blood donation drives coming up in our area, and we've posted links on our website, ccxmedia.org. Crystal Police is one of many law enforcement agencies that will have extra patrols on the roads during the New Year holiday weekend. And they're going to be extra vigilant, especially with the recent weather.
If we combine the weather conditions that we have right now with a good amount of alcohol, that really can be a very dangerous combination.
On Friday, there was a fair share of slick streets in Crystal. A few fender benders have happened because of the ice-snow mix, but nothing too serious. Driving on the ice on New Year's Eve is going to be tricky, though, police say. So Crystal Police are encouraging drivers to be extra careful during the holiday, drink responsibly, and make plans for a sober ride home. And if you have people coming to your home, make transportation arrangements for your guests.
We really would like to have everybody get to and from their festivities safe, and really alcohol plays a big factor in New Year's Eve, and we'd like to see people not find themselves getting hurt in that situation.
More than 300 law enforcement agencies across the state are teaming up to get impaired drivers off the road this holiday season. A Crystal man pleaded guilty this week to killing his wife in their home last year. It happened in July of 2017 when 57-year-old Dennis Sandlin shot and killed his wife, Sandra. The criminal complaint says Sandlin called his son and daughter and told them he shot his wife. Police responded and persuaded him to surrender. Sentencing is set for January 2nd, and Sandlin is expected to receive more than 25 years in prison. With retail sales topping $1 trillion in the United States, it was the strongest holiday buying season since 2011. Reporter Neil Persley set out to see if Northwest Metro retailers also saw a bump.
The temporarily bare shelves at the Woods in Maple Grove are a good thing.
Sales this holiday was absolutely phenomenal.
The surge in retail sales were a source of good tidings of great joy.
It was a great year, and that's on top of a great year from last year. So it's been a good year.
Over at the Foursome in Plymouth, there was a similar experience of holiday cheer.
People are in a good mood. They seem to be looking for the opportunity to spend money this season, and so we were happy about that.
A lot of new customers as well. People coming in for the first time and saying they've been driving by and came in and found us, and we're just thrilled to find this store right in their neighborhood.
Consumers have really started spending again. I think we'll see a 4 to 5% increase from November through the holidays.
Some of the reasons behind the strong retail push are record high employment numbers, wage growth, favorable weather in Minnesota from Thanksgiving to Christmas, and
right now, low gas prices, great for retailers, great for spending.
And while online shopping is still popular, brick and mortar stores have noticed a trend now of browsing online, then coming into the shop to make the purchase.
It's actually probably easier to come in here than spending all night looking at your iPad for some sort of elusive gift that you're not quite sure. You can just literally walk in here and get it, touch and feel it, have someone help you pick it out.
They're going online, seeing what's out there, seeing where you can get it, and they come in for the experience. And we're finding this with a lot of the younger people too.
Today, the name of the game isn't shipping anymore, it's about availability. So retailers that offer like in-store pickup, those types of conveniences are winning today.
And given the strong consumer performance this Christmas, retailers have reason to be optimistic looking to the new year.
One thing I can say over the years, I found the gift industry is a good barometer of what the economy is doing. In fact, when things are going well for us, it means it's going to be good for a little while.
Which is reason to hope that retail in 2019 will be merry and bright. Neil Persley, CCX News.
Still ahead on CCX News, what will you remember from 2018? We'll take a look back at some of the biggest stories of the year. Plus, it's a close battle as Wayzata takes on Elk River in the Holiday Boys Hockey Tournament action. But first, it's cold now. Temperatures are expected to rise over the weekend, but dip below zero again on New Year's Day. In these final days of 2018, we're taking a look back at the year that was. In the past year, we saw historic weather events, massive shakeups in the world of local politics, and a Wayzata High School connection to the Super Bowl halftime show. Here's Delane Cleveland with a review of some of our top stories of 2018.
2018 began with the eyes of the world focused on Minnesota.
What's up, man? Welcome to Minnesota.
As the Twin Cities played host to Super Bowl 52. During the halftime show, 400 people from local dance teams joined Justin Timberlake on the field. The former Wayzata High School student helped produce and choreograph the show, and Wayzata's longtime dance coach helped select the dancers.
This was the biggest scale I've ever done. I was involved in the last Super Bowl here in Minnesota as well.
Speaking of sports,
United States, let's go!
The Northwest Metro was well represented at the Winter Olympics in South Korea. Plymouth natives Kelly Panic and Danny Cameronese won gold medals for the U.S. Olympic hockey team. And in the process, they became role models for a new generation of young women.
Yeah, I mean, that's something that we've talked about as a team a lot, is just being a people that, you know, the young girls can now look to.
But for all the excitement about sports, there was an equal amount of chagrin over the weather. According to New Hope weather watcher Steve Reckers, the Northwest Metro received 88.6 inches of snow last winter, which broke the annual snowfall record. Making matters worse, an April snowstorm dumped nearly 19 inches of snow on the area. It was the third largest snowstorm ever for the Northwest suburbs, dating back to the 1950s. 1 month later, the 2018 legislative session came to a close, and the biggest news was that the major output of this year's session was vetoed.
You might remember that I campaigned for governor in 2010 on a pledge to raise state income taxes on only the wealthiest 2% of Minnesotans, and not on the other 98%.
DFL Governor Mark Dayton followed through on his promise to veto the tax bill and the nearly 1,000-page supplemental budget bill drawn up by the Republican-controlled legislature.
Drive safely tonight and enjoy your summer.
Yet while state lawmakers differed over dollars and philosophies,
we cannot pass up the opportunity tonight to stand up to big tobacco.
Local cities took matters into their own hands regarding tobacco.
Sometimes we just have to do the right thing. So I'd rather be a leader on this issue than a follower.
In July, a new ordinance went into effect in Plymouth that raised the legal age to purchase tobacco products to 21. In November, the Brooklyn Center City Council followed suit.
This is really personal for me.
Becoming the 16th city in Minnesota to raise the minimum age to buy tobacco. That wasn't the only thing to happen in November. Election Day brought a wave of change to the Northwest Metro.
We love you very much.
In Plymouth, Mayor Kelly Slavic decided not to run for re-election after serving the city for 20 years. Voters elected Councilmember Jeff Washy to take her place as mayor. In Brooklyn Center, voters elected Mike Elliott to be the new mayor.
Everyone who voted for me, thank you very much.
Elliott defeated Tim Wilson, who had held the position since 2007. Elliott will be the city's first mayor of Liberian descent. Brooklyn Center voters also sent Samantha Vang to the state legislature. She becomes the first Hmong American to serve that district at the state capitol. And at the federal level, voters decided to move on from Republican Eric Paulson, who had served the 3rd Congressional District in the U.S. House since 2009.
We did it, everybody! We did it!
Taking over that seat is Democrat Dean Phillips. Meanwhile, in December, the Brooklyn Park Police Department announced a pilot program with Hennepin County that will embed a mental health professional into the police department. If an officer responds to a mental health call, then later that week, a detective and the mental health professional will follow up with the person who is in crisis. The hope is that this intervention will reduce the burden on the courts, the jail, the hospitals, and ultimately the taxpayers.
So we're looking to hopefully reduce those costs for the taxpayers as well. And then lastly is just get the people the help that they need.
With the 2018 year in review, Delane Cleveland, CCX News.
Thank you, Delane. Up next, what are you resolving to do in 2019? We'll show you one way to start the year off by getting active. But first, it's holiday tournament time in girls basketball too. We'll have highlights of Maranatha versus Wayzata. John Jacobson is in next.
One of the staples on the holiday tournament calendar for the past several years in boys hockey is the tourney hosted by Benilde St. Margaret's. Wayzata is one of the entrants again this winter. The Trojans facing Elk River Thursday. First period, the puck loose in the crease and Jack Kimlinger chips it in for a 1-0 Trojans lead. It's 2-1 Wayzata late in the first when Austin Humphrey gets the breakaway for Elk River, but he's stopped here by Danny Fraga. Second period, Wayzata's Joel Matthews plays the carom off the boards and lasers the shot top corner for a 3-1 lead. The Elks respond 38 seconds later. Humphrey gathers the loose puck and scores to make it 3-2. And then in the third, the Elks add the equalizer. Ethan Schultz buries the one-timer here, and it's 3-all. Wayzata's Ben Lutke with a great effort. He pushes the Elk River player off the puck and then walks in and scores, giving the Trojans the lead back. And they don't relinquish that lead and go on to win 4-3. They play tournament host Benilde St. Margaret's Friday night. The Armstrong Cooper girls hockey team is hosting a holiday tournament for the 23rd season. The Wings open play in their tournament as they faced Willmar in the quarterfinals. Willmar strikes first. Sydney Olson's alone in front on a power play and sneaks a shot in just 3:24 into the game. Armstrong Cooper answers 4.5 minutes later. The initial shot stopped, but number 28, Isabel Creasel, chips a backhander in here, and it's a 1-1 score. Willmar regains the lead on a 2-on-1 rush. Maya Munson snaps the wrist shot in as the Cardinals take a 2-1 lead into the second period. After Willmar goes up 3-1, the Wings get one. The puck bounces around in front of the net until number 14, Paige Lloydholt, lifts it over the goalie's shoulder there. Armstrong Cooper's within 3-2. But Willmar gets the only goals of the third. Monson banks it off the goalie for his second of the night, and Willmar wins 5-2. Tournament continues Friday and Saturday at New Hope Arena. In girls basketball, Wayzata and Maranatha Christian Academy tipped off against each other for the second time this month. This one coming in the quarterfinals of the Hill Murray Holiday Tournament. Jenna Johnson scores off the inbounds pass for the Trojans to give Wayzata an early 8-2 lead. MCA's Kay Barth Lofton can score from inside or outside. This three cuts the Trojans' lead to 10-7. But the Trojans pull away from there. Good transition basketball here from Wayzata. Mara Braun with the basket in the paint. Good defense by Wayzata forces a turnover, and the Trojans are on the move again. Mimi Schrader ends up with a nice layup to finish. Trojans take a 44-23 lead into halftime. Second half, Wayzata works the ball around nicely on this possession. Annika Stewart with a mid-range jumper for 2. She finishes the game with 10 points. Jad Smiley misses a three-point try, but Johnson is underneath for the rebound and putback. She leads all scorers with 22 points. Second-ranked Wayzata remains unbeaten on the season with a 78-43 win. The Trojans are now 10-0. The Hopkins boys basketball team has lost just once so far this season. The Royals, ranked 3rd in Class 4A, had no trouble with their first-round opponent in the Augsburg University Holiday Classic. Hopkins beating St. Paul Como Park Thursday night. The Royals score in transition. The pass goes ahead to Zeke Najee for the lay-in. Arizona State signee finishes the game with 11 points. Najee gets an assist, finding Jalen Deering for an open three-pointer. He finishes the game with 8 points. Off a missed three-point try, Dane Zimmer grabs an offensive rebound, gets the ball to Najee for 2 more. Hopkins leads by 30 here in the first half. Andy Stafford pops in a corner three-pointer for the Royals, and it's 39-6 Hopkins. Finally, watch this last highlight, the dunk by Elvis Ohegwu as he comes down the lane and one-hands the rebound for 2 more. This one's a blowout. Hopkins beats Como Park 91-32. And that is a look at sports. Shannon's back with more news right after this.
Many people resolve to be more physically fit in the new year, and if you'd like to recommit to getting active, perhaps you'd like to check out the New Year's Day Hopeful 5K in Maple Grove. This will be the 10th year for the New Year's Day race that begins at Clauda's Irish Pub in downtown Maple Grove. It is a 5K chip-timed race that begins at 10 a.m. The race is put on every year by Charities Challenge, whose mission it is to help people improve health and fitness through using exercise as medicine.
What epidemiologists have discovered about the power of exercise beyond anything else we can do to improve our lives, our health, reduce disease risks, and even improve disease management.
You can still register online at charitieschallenge.org, and you can register the day of the race on location. If you do register in advance, the cost is $40, and registering the day of is $50. And they say they're not worried about the cold weather this year because it was even colder last year. Looks like a fun time. That's all the news we have for now. Thanks for joining us. Be sure to watch over the weekend, starting Saturday, when we air a special broadcast on our favorite stories. We cover thousands of stories every year, and we'll recap a few of those stories that just stuck with us. From Champlin Park Volleyball's amazing run to win state, to a woman in New Hope who makes flowers for cancer survivors. We'll share a few of those stories and more on our favorite show, our favorite stories from 2018. Now, from all of us here at CCX Media, have a safe and happy new year, and we'll see you in 2019.